awkward today. It's going to make things life difficult for people to trade it.
Yeah, I'm a little worried this thing's gonna wash out on me, but whatever. I had a great week this week, so we'll just get some trades and see what happens.
Nvidia,
The ES and the
a big
Qs
order
are
at
like all kind of in
119.
buying areas, so and they're trying to find a bid here. If they can, we'll probably rally on the market a titch. Nope. Choppy as expected.
Yeah, for the most part, exactly. This is kind of the action that I was expecting on a hangover day.
Nvidia's moving pretty good.
Yeah, there's some big orders up there. So hopefully we can get to them. 120 seems to be a real, let's call it a bugaboo area for Nvidia. It's really having trouble getting there. It has been underperforming sort of the market overall. So let's see.
Just
Let's
really
see what we
struggling
do.
to find buyers in the market right now, it feels like.
Yeah, Qs look ready to sort of break out, go green.
I went ahead and got rid of that Tesla position. It's just not performing, and I don't like where we're at on the daily, so I got rid of that position.
Right.
Nvidia's finding a seller up here at R3.
Yeah. Qs kind of went green there for a second, and then we pulled back. Here we had a little order underneath there that on a Nike that dropped the price to pick up some shares there. Let's see if that's catalyst for a move back up here.
I'm a
I'm not
short
liking.
Nvidia.
Yeah, I'm actually getting out of it. 118. Back to previous day close.
Let me go ahead and show you guys my entry on Nvidia. So Nvidia was it was looking pretty weak here, and it threw a really nice doji at R3. So when it chopped around, it squeezed up, and then it pushed down, and some bids came in on the book to the downside. So I'm playing towards those bids. So stop just a new high of day, and I'm going to target a break of the low of day and see if we can make that work. I like the volume on
a
the sell.
return to VWAP would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you on that short 118.05. Here we go.
My target
Right.
on Nvidia is going to be 116.64, but that's arbitrary for my profit, so I wouldn't be too worried about that otherwise.
Yeah, I want to see sort of 117.40, which is VWAP.
I'm basically going to go for
There is a
pre-market
big,
low.
there is a bit of an order right at VWAP, just under it. Qs are selling off a little bit. Yeah, good thing you got out of your Tesla. It did roll over.
Yeah, it wasn't passing the smell test for me on volume. Like
Yeah,
it tried to push quite a few times, and I thought I actually thought the market in general was going to roll over. So just the way I was saying to you, I was like, man, we're just not finding buyers right now. So I figured with as delicate and as much difficulty as Tesla was having getting volume, as soon as the market rolled, I figured it would probably drop. So I wanted to get out of that one. The VPA did not look like it was going to continue advancing.
Nike, bit of a dog's breakfast for sure. Still, Nvidia is really trying to hold on to this PDC right now.
We're definitely fairly non-directional in the market right now, which isn't
Yeah,
helping anything.
no, exactly.
Be
AMT.
patient. When the market gets non-directional, you just got to be really patient with your trades, especially for those of y'all who really like your momentum. These are the those moments where we got to kind of just sit back and, oh, nice, Lenny, good trade. Except for Lenny, you'll get it all done already. But we got to really sit back and just kind of wait for those opportunities.
Q's kind of bounced back there.
Yeah, we just found some buyers.
Yeah. Just shorted a bit of AMD
I like
as
that
well
idea.
here.
Still holding Nvidia.
Yeah, I'm still in Nvidia as well.
I believe the chat room is back up from what I'm seeing in some of our tech chat. I think maybe the issues for the BBT members, I believe those issues have been potentially resolved.
Okay, I'm covering some AMD here at
Nice. Let me get up
155.50.
AMD so we can see what that looks like. Oh yeah, look at that.
We also lost the YouTube chat briefly at the beginning.
No.
So, as an apology, we'll keep on your charts, Thor, so people can follow along. Get a taste of what it's like to be in the
Oh,
Bear
I
Bull
was
Traders
wondering
chat
why
in
I only
general.
had 25 likes. I was like, only
Yeah,
25 likes for Brian. I'm like, that's
there were some
horrible.
technical issues, so we apologize.
We have technical issues.
One of those days.
Okay.
Story of my life.
Again, just covering a little bit more. AMD at 39, 155, 39 there on that pullback.
Man, they are just like, they just do not want to give it up. Yesterday was really interesting, Brian. Like when I was watching yesterday, it's like every time I thought we were going to sell, and there were many times I thought we were going to sell, it was just like we would just buy. And it was on really
Yeah.
weak volume. Like I was just like, what are we doing right now? Like I spent half the day yesterday just like, what are you guys even trying to do right now? It was just I tend to take vacations around triple witching, and this might be the reason why.
Yeah. Well, there was some thought that this big rally yesterday was a lot of people were caught short. There was
Sure.
a lot of sort of short covering as opposed to new money coming in and buying the dip here.
I think you had that combined with the interest rate being lowered more than expected.
Right.
I think really got people feeling a little spicier, man. People love the interest rate. That seems to be the thing lately. That really, you can look back every 3 months basically and look on the day the interest rate decision came out, and there's almost always a directional shift in the market, and that's been like that for like a year or so now.
Yeah, everybody's been it's been a huge focus.
It's interesting to see how when you go through different economic cycles, what becomes more important or not. Like obviously, like when interest rates are low all the time, nobody really cares if they go up a couple, a basis point or something like that, right? But when interest rates get high and and inflation is high and all these other things go, I mean, people get really touchy about the interest rate going up or down a little bit can be a big difference on your day to day. So the market really responding to those interest rates now because it's pretty sensitive to
them. I'm getting out of the rest of that NVIDIA short. It just doesn't seem to want to go. And I'm watching AMD here. There's still a big order at 155.
AMD's got a really nice order at 155, I think, to the downside, and it's got a little bit more below that too. So 154's got some heat. So I think if it can go down through there, I think you've got a shot. Sure.
We'll see. I've already taken a fair amount
that
off
don't
here.
go anywhere.
We kind of have to be cognizant that this is probably going to be a choppy day.
I got an iceberg seller here at 118.50 on NVIDIA. I'm hoping they're bigger than expected.
Do you have that add-on for Bookmap that shows where the iceberg sellers are, or do you just look at the price action?
Yeah, I'm just reading it. I don't have the fun add-on. I got mine through Schwab. If for those of you who want to use like an order visualization software, if you have a Charles Schwab account, you can actually get Bookmap for relatively inexpensive. But you don't get all the bells and whistles, unfortunately. Like Bookmap's got some really cool stuff, like stop indicators, where you can like see where everyone's putting their stops, kind of some crazy stuff. So NVIDIA, this is what I mean by the iceberg. You can see here we kind of went through this large order and then it failed off, right? And then when we squeezed back up, we came up here and we found more orders there, and we didn't have any volume for them at all. So and then we immediately started like waterfalling away. And we're right now, I'm hoping we're going to go down towards 117.50 and then 117.
There isn't. You can see on Bookmap how little volume there is. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just nothing's like the size. Obviously, if you're familiar with Bookmap, you can see the size of the bubbles that form, and they're all just tiny little, tiny bubbles
Tiny bubble.
in the wine. Yeah, Derek, what did you do? We got a nice trade on. What is that? The GLMD. Yeah, it just seems like Nvidia's sort of stuck in a range here.
I'm going to grab a fresh drink real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah. But again, like we're saying, there's just no volume on these on this price action. CCJ rolled over, Tesla coming back up. Yeah, the SPY and the Qs especially just chop, chop, chop. Just can't get through PDC. Just reshorted NVIDIA at 118.10. Just seems to be, let's see if we can get a little bit of a lower low here. Or if we're still going to be stuck in this range. Tesla coming up to the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart, rejecting there. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Bit more of a loss there. Just going to cover some just because it's choppy. Covered some at 117.83. Again, it's just one of those days we're just going to have to take quick profits because there doesn't seem to be much trending. CCJ seems to be struggling. Tesla rejected that moving average. Nike is looking a little weak. You see there's buyers coming right back in on NVIDIA. Lenny, what did you trade? You traded because that looked like Novo Nordisk. Nice. Meta. John's looking at Meta. Meta had a huge day yesterday. Gap up and then strong all day.
All right, I am back.
Okay, so we're still bouncing along here with NVIDIA. I'm back short again on it.
All right, so I'm still short as well.
Yep, Meta's at high of day here. Yesterday's high too. Damn it! They definitely got buyers on NVIDIA. 118.
We're sitting right on top of PDC right now. So
Yes,
it's not
exactly.
surprising that we would be finding a buyer right on top of the close.
Yeah, for sure.
The market's been trying to pick up a bid for quite a while. I mean, it's almost been 30 minutes now, and the market has done a very, very poor job of picking up a bid. So it's I do know there are larger orders on the ES and NQ to the downside. So if we don't kind of get our buyers to get in here soon and start buying some stuff, we're already really high in the range. Sellers are going to get impatient, holding out for higher. They'll start selling now. They're already in profit, so why not? What's this? I'm wondering, how can you make a living trading since the money isn't guaranteed? Mina, that's a really good question. Mina was asking, how can you make a living day trading since money isn't guaranteed daily? Mina, you got to approach this like any kind of, self-owned. I treat my trading like a small business. You know what I mean? This is like, if you were cutting lawns for a living or something like that, there's no guarantee you're going to have clients. You know what I mean? You got to do the work and you got to put in the effort. And I wouldn't recommend doing day trading full time for a living until you feel pretty confident you're going to be able to replicate your results from day to day. It's, and that's really, really important. A lot of people do try to do it. I like the idea of maintaining a side hustle, even when you go full time for a little while, just to kind of keep the edge off. You know what I mean? But otherwise, it's definitely doable. I've been trading full time for, I've 4.5, almost 5 years now. I've been trading as a full time. Primary source of income has come from day trading.
Yeah, crowd's kind of interesting. Basically, I mean, we don't recommend anyone just start day trading for a living. I mean, it's something that you probably are better just to you just work into it if that's where you want to go, but it's going to be a couple of year process. This is a profession. It's no different than becoming a doctor or an airline pilot. It takes training and practice and education, and it's definitely not easy. So you're better off doing it, having a job that where you can depend on your support, financial support, and then doing day trading and building up your skills and building up your money until you feel you can do it, and because you're not going to be profitable every day, which is very true. So
100%.
yeah,
One of the things we really concern ourselves with are just what our winnings are versus our losings. You might have a red day. That's fine. Ideally, one red day should be offset by the winnings of basically one successful trade in my book. So it's like, like for me, I generically go for 4 times my initial risk for my targets. So like right now, my stop is risking 1R, 4R on the target, $200 risk for an $800 target. My max loss for a day, if I lose 4 trades in a row, is $800. So if I win one trade, I can overcome an entire day's worth of loss. And that's what's really important. And then if I have one day where I win 2 or 3 trades, now I've offset 3, maybe even, 2 to even 3 days worth of loss. This is where day trading really happens, is really, it's all about. It's funny, as you guys in YouTube, as you're learning the day trading thing, what you'll be taught is you're going to be taught day trading in 2 different ways, right? It's where, when, and how is how everybody teaches it. Where you need to look for trades, when you take them, and how you manage them. That's an order of operations. An order of importance is the exact opposite. It's actually how, when, and where. It's more important how you manage your positions than when you take them. It's more important when you take them than where you take them. And where you take them is really the least important thing. You just have to, So it's kind of like surfing. You can't catch a wave just anywhere. There's a spot you got to catch the wave. but that's all there is to it. That's just where the wave is, and that's kind of where your trade comes from. So as you're focusing, really pay attention on focusing on VPA, volume and price analysis, tape reading, order book reading, personal psychology management. Those are the things that are actually important for trading.
Yep. Nvidia's coming down to yesterday's low here.
We're doing it. I'm still holding. I just need pre-market low. Next, Brian, next Wednesday, something wild. Next Wednesday, I think it's going to be at like 2:30 Eastern. I'm actually doing a pro series webinar for Bookmap actually next Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
Isn't
on Wednesday.
Wild? Yeah, like
Is
Wednesday
that,
in the afternoon. For Bookmap.
That's like
I think
8
it's going to be
o'clock?
on their channel.
Oh, sweet.
So that's going to be pretty
I'm gonna have
wild.
to check
I
that
actually got to
out.
talk to Bruce Pringle, who's the the big honcho over there. Really cool guy. Like really cool guy. So I'm hoping to talk to them about book, maybe some future stuff. It'll be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
I'm not going to get a blue
checking that out.
jacket. I'm not in the community, unfortunately. But one of my mentees, Nathan, he won their blue jacket. So if I can teach someone to read the order book well enough to read it to win the jacket, I guess I'll take it.
The blue jacket.
No, I'm not
wonder if
short
they actually-
Tesla. I'm
do they
short
actually-
Nvidia. What, buddy?
Do they actually give you the blue jacket, or is it just like this? They give you like a picture of a blue jacket.
You get like on if you're in their Discord, I think, or in their like thing, I think you get like an icon that has like a blue jacket in it. I don't think you actually get a blue jacket, which is super
Okay.
disappointing. It's actually the reason
Yeah,
I didn't
totally.
go for it, because I look good in blue, and I was like, a blue jacket would be amazing. So,
Yeah, like-
but I was
Like
like,
a nice
whatever.
powder blue, baby blue.
Yeah,
sort of like
blue.
the pink Cadillac you get with Mary
Absolutely.
Kay. Yeah, get to drive the pink Cadillac.
I'm sure you can buy. Maybe you can buy the blue jacket.
Maybe you can wear it to Burning Man.
Just the blue jacket. You still messing with AMD right now?
No, got out of that.
You got done? You
I'm
done
gonna
with it?
pop back up. Yeah, I'm still short Nvidia.
You had a
with
really
you.
good read on the book of that one. It went down.
Yeah, it did work out quite well. Got a few bucks on it.
Hassan, in the YouTube. So, do I read price action as well, or just pivot points? Absolutely price action. I think trying to trade just utilizing like pivots, or just utilizing like a pattern, or just using something like that, I think will be very much lacking in your strategy. It's really one of the reasons we call Brian the prophet of profit is because it's prophetic, because that's one of his main strengths, is being able to just read price action, so he can see when we're struggling, when we're successfully moving versus having trouble moving. So he makes some incredible plays based upon those kind of reads. I use a very similar skill to that, and then I pair it with my cam levels for areas where I want to get short, just for range, because Brian will take a few more shares than I do, so he doesn't really need to go as far in order for him to start taking profit. Since I trade with a little bit smaller size, I go for longer holds in order to offset the difference. So Brian doesn't have to be quite as sensitive to range as I do, because I'm looking for bigger moves than he is. But other than that, we actually trade very similarly as far as the way we read and move through the book. Brian uses the order book when he plays. I use the order book. We both lose volume and tape reading and things like that. I keep looking down at the 25 likes, and it just bums me out because I knew
Yeah,
we were
not
going to have
used
a
to
good day
seeing that.
today. Hey, everyone, I
Not
know
used
this
to
is super
seeing that.
annoying out there, but if you've already liked once and then you're back in after getting booted out, if just for my for my visual, like if you wouldn't mind smashing that little like, it just makes me feel good. Just kidding.
Mhm.
Oh man, tech issues, unbelievable.
Yeah,
There we go. That's
just got
pretty good.
back.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Just got back short a little here on AMD. Just looks like there's book maps telling me there's more orders. It's more downside here. This the only thing I don't like about this is we're right at S3.
Yeah,
Here we
you're
go.
I think you're doing the right. The book would definitely insinuate that you're pointed in the right direction. So
Yeah,
we've got a really nice bid. It's trying to eat through right now, and they're actively selling into this bid. Ooh, look at that chunky. Look at that. They just brought another. Look at that. They're sandwiching them right in between. Seller here. Boom. Buy. Now they're going to go down into the bid. No?
come
You're
on.
gonna. There's no way they don't negotiate this bid. There they go. They absorbed like crazy when they negotiated that bid like that. That was interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, there's more bid. It's an iceberg. There's more. They're still, but they're
there's
selling
more.
into it though. They're still trying to negotiate it, but there apparently there's more. But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
See how the price, everyone? Did you see how the price that once we tried to sell through that buyer and then we couldn't go through? That was a really nice example that there was more to be bought here than what was actually on the book. And because of that, they're pulling
Right.
back away from the buyer and basically trying to get the buyer to show their hand. I mean, how many shares you got here, buddy? Like, we want to go
Mhm.
down, but we need to know how much we can put in here in order to do this. So now you can see, here we go. Here's their orders coming on now, right? So now here comes the market makers starting to sell now that they see where the orders are. Look at that. Someone keeps coming in. There's I want to say it's a short cover maybe, or someone maybe trying to get short.
Yeah,
I keep seeing
maybe.
this seller come in really tight to the price and we buy up into them and then stop. So I don't know if someone's trying to fill on an uptick.
Hmm.
And it's stopping the price from dropping because it's basically like a random buyer just keeps coming in above the price and taking the bid. It's really interesting. There they are. Look right there.
Yeah,
There's a seller.
yeah.
Interesting. 154 is
Yeah,
looking juicier. They're bringing on more heat at 154. So
yeah. There's an order building there. Yeah,
it's
gotta
and
get to.
we have a really between like 155.50 and 156 we have almost no orders. So
Yeah,
it doesn't look like there's a lot of retail participation putting out targets. I mean, I would, if I was going to guess on this one, we're about to flush. But if we have someone who keeps buying here and they force them too high and push them into this area of low value, they can just squeeze right through it very aggressively. So I don't know, why would they go up through that really weak order book? No transactions just to leave those big
yeah.
orders away. There's no
There's
way
nothing there. Here we
they're
go.
gonna.
We're gonna eat away again. Num 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 num.
There it is. Yeah. Nom nom. Go get those
Come on.
orders.
Yeah, but you're right. There's somebody. There's somebody there.
There they are again,
Buy
right
it.
there.
Yeah,
Zoink. See, they just came in right above the price. Buy. So weird. I don't see that very
Hmm.
often.
No.
Someone's filling on the uptick there, like intentionally. For
It's
those of y'all
usually
out in
like
the YouTube land, this is the stuff we do all day in here. I normally do an 11 to 12 session almost every day. Also in the evenings on Thursdays, we do an 8 to 9 p.m. session. So this is the kind of
look,
stuff we look at all the time.
they pulled that bid.
Yeah, they did.
They lightened up on
Oh,
that bid.
Day trading can be stressful. If you don't approach it correctly, it certainly can be, Hassan. One of the things I say to most of the people that I work with, and this is kind of like, not to like a little gloom on it or whatever, but so what I like the saying I have is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's not that trading's stressful,
Yeah.
it's just uncomfortable. Like, you always want to get into a trade when you're not in one. Once you're in one, you're always doubting the position, wanting to do something different, wanting to take it off early, partial early, hold it too long, all of these different things. And then once you get profit, even when you win, you're still kind of not comfortable. You want to trade more. Should I trade? Could I have gotten more out of it? Could I got less out of it? So behavioral slippage ends up being the biggest issue for most traders, is doing like just these like random things that just cost you a fortune, just these wild random decisions. And that's what makes it stressful, is just that. But once you get really anchored into your system, your performance, and you become okay with losing, which takes a little while, but you have to get really comfortable with loss, it starts to become more enjoyable than that. If you're looking for a good analogy, as someone who runs 2 to 3 times a week, it's kind of like going running, right? Whenever, like, at no point when I'm running is running fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's before I run, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to run. While I'm running, I feel like I'm gonna die, and then after I run, I'm like sore and I'm hurting, right? But I do all of those things because I know the result of that is going to be good physical health and longevity of life, right? So I put up with those things. So, and then trading, that's what you have to keep in mind. It's going to be uncomfortable, and I got to get comfortable with that. But if I can, the result of that will be, the outcome you're looking for.
Okay, here we go. Now there's a big order here at 154.50.
You don't think you're okay with losing, but you're just really good at it. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, best loser wins. You're going to lose, and you're going to lose probably every day.
Yeah.
So you just got to kind of get used to it.
NVIDIA's rolling over a little bit here.
Look at how
Options
Amazon
trading.
failed off of that order right there. Really nice.
It's gonna put up a fight here.
Yeah, we're almost back to the open price.
Yeah, no.
On a lot of these. I mean, Amazon's under it. AMD's lost its open price. NVIDIA's working towards its open now. I'm just wondering how low we can go before we just really start losing buyers, right? So so for me, this is like seeing like a real estate like market with too many houses for sale all in the same place. Like, at some point, someone's going to lower their sale price. And then when that happens, everyone's going to freak out. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just kind of wondering like
Yeah.
how long we can sustain this low before we just start moving lower. You know what I mean? Go hunt some buyers. Yeah, I can show the order book on Nike.
Nike was a good short. It just took some time for it to break down. Didn't really start breaking down till about 10 o'clock, just before.
Rustic Elegance in YouTube. How many traders would you say long only? I can see the longs pretty well, but I struggle finding shorts. Well, anyone who's restricted in their IRA or whatever is longing, or the retirement accounts longing only anyway, right? Unless they're playing a future or something. But I know a few traders that long only, and if you're looking to short, one thing you can think about doing is using an inverse.
Yeah,
using an inverse, if you just like the way things look better visually for you, you just see the cues better long, you can like play like inverse ETFs and stuff like that. So you can still technically short, right? But you're actually going long. Or if you don't have the ability to short and you can only long, that can be a place where you can take advantage of those things. But I really suggest just always being in tune with yourself as a trader. Right? If you feel like you see longs better and that's what you look for, longs come out every single day. There's always going to be an opportunity. So build your strategy around what that means. You know what I mean? And then implement it and test it over time and see how it holds out. Just remember, however, if you're longing only, there is a chance that you could have a strategy that could be cyclical. You know what I mean? Where you're going to have certain periods of time, i.e. like a bull market or something like that, where you will perform significantly better than you will otherwise, right? So just kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about all of these different instruments now. I mean, you can short NVIDIA by going along. What is that?
NVDL
Yes.
or something like that.
Yeah, there's NVDL and NVDS. I mean,
and those are leveraged as well, which is cool.
Yeah,
they're cheaper.
Exactly.
You can so you can I think what's NVDL, like $30 or something like that. I forget.
Yeah, and NVDS is like 37.
Yeah, $50. Sorry, $50. NVDS is 30 something.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can trade a leverage product as well if you don't have necessarily, if you want to take advantage of that. Just keep in mind the spreads can be a little bit funkier on the leveraged, but what else?
We're getting some buying here. Look at that. SPY bounced right off S4. It's your buddy S4.
Good buddy S4. My pleasure, Hassan.
Sorry to interrupt. Just have a question for YouTube. Are there any people in YouTube that can't get into the BBT chat room still? If that's the case, we might go a little bit longer on YouTube. We don't have a guest today, but we can go to 11 if Thor and Brian are good with that.
Yeah, I can hang. I can hang.
Okay, it seems like a few people.
All right, so we have 236 likes. So if we can get to, how can we? What do you think? What's fun? We got 10 minutes, and then if we get some more likes, we'll keep going. What should we do? 300? That's only 15 more likes in 15 minutes to get us.
I
to
think
300.
478 likes.
478 likes. I like it. Very specific. I like it. Otherwise, we just call it a Friday, and Brian and I go out to lunch. Brian and I don't live near each other, so it's really weird when we go out to lunch because it's him
No.
on his iPhone, me on my iPhone. It's kind of
Well,
weird. Different restaurants. But no, I'm good.
yeah, opposite ends of the country.
All right, we're at the open price. We're going to find out now. Let's see if we can go get down to pre-market low.
Yeah.
See if we can see if this wait was worth it.
Still hanging. And AMD is just still hanging around S3. We are getting a bit of a bounce on the SPY. I had support around 565 today on the SPY. We didn't quite get there.
My order book in DOS on NVIDIA actually looks really weak. Got lots of orders down here. Where do I need to get to? I need 116.64. So I needed to get right down here. I have order structure 116.80. Ugh. That's this guy right here. See, nothing worse than being on the other side of a strong order. I don't like that at all, but whatever. Futures contracts, Survivor, if I'm going short, generically like maybe, at most 10 of micros. If I have a really tight stop, I can take up to 10 micros. But generically around like 3 or 4. So the thing you just have to weigh in is your risk metric. So for instance, everyone in the chat in the YouTube chat room say thank you, G Prof, because he's actually was in the room, but he put this little handy chart together for me. But you can kind of see here, based upon the number of contracts you take of the micros, kind of how many points you can risk and how much dollar value that'll be. So for instance, like, I'll often on the ES, I'll take somewhere probably between 2 and 4. And that way I can risk, somewhere in the $200 range. You know what I mean? So if I'm taking 4, I can risk 10 points. If I'm taking 2, I can risk 20. Just kind of depends on the range and how far I think we can get. You like the visual? Yeah. It's good stuff, right?
Good stuff, man.
Come on. You can do it.
I'm actually going to cover some here. 1778.
Don't cover stuff.
1678. This is right at S3, eh?
I know. It's right at it.
Yeah,
horrible
1674. God, I gotta honor my my buddy's my buddy Thor's trade book
cover
plan.
Squeeze me.
Yeah, I'm not.
You guys are big traders. Y'all have big volume. You can squeeze me.
My number of shares isn't going to squeeze anybody.
Unbelievable. Hey, if the whole stinking chat room covers in front of it, that will be enough volume. Okay, so don't stinking warrior trade me over here.
Yeah. Well, what are you looking for?
No, we're not doing a low float up in here. I just pre-market low. I just need a hard drop on pre-market low. Like literally, like just a few more.
Aren't we?
Yeah. It went to 116.71. My target's 116.64.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, I front ran you. Sorry.
Yeah, you did. Rude.
Aaron.
So rude.
So bad.
The queues, the queues, like, they haven't made it necessarily to, like, the queues almost made it to S3 as well. So I think everything's just kind of getting into that buying range. This thing better not buy. It is a higher range too, isn't it? Yeah. Ugh. That's horrible. Oh well. Someone was asking about the different cams on the different platforms. So one of the issues with the different every platform kind of defines their cams a little differently, because cams are calculated using the previous day's high, the previous day's low, and the close. So depending on when your platform defines those particular criteria is what will change where your cams calculate. So for instance, like on applications like Ninja, you can actually create your own custom trading hours. So, and I could do that on platforms like TraderView and such. I haven't found ways to do that, but like on Thinkorswim, which is what you're seeing on my screen here, these cams are calculated using that methodology, and they kind of mirror the DOS cams, because those are my favorites. And this might be a Brian question. How do you determine your stop loss when trading an ORB if the prior candle is extended?
Ooh.
I mean, it's hard, right? Because if the candle's really extended, so ideally, right, you're going to want to put, for me, I want my stop to be below the low of the prior candle or above the high of the prior candle, that, because at least you got to force someone to do something to come get you. So if it's overextended, that means you got to put your stop inside of that. And that seems like it's going to be sketchy. I'd probably abstain from playing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's I guess, a good example of that, because we had a couple of minutes, we had 4 minutes, and it was really on the 5th minute where we really had a strong push to the upside. So, I mean, you can look at a chart too, and on NVIDIA, I mean, I probably would have maybe used the VWAP, or, I mean, presumably you would have caught it when it just started to break out there. So 118, so VWAP would have been, your VWAP would have been sort of 117.60. I mean, you could have used, depending on how aggressive you wanted to be with your stop, basically. You knew after that push, it was probably going to give a bit of a pullback.
Oh, yeah.
Could also have used the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. I always like to use, that moving average as support.
All right, we're selling, but we just sold back into the open price. That's kind of like my moment of truth here. Good volume on that sell too. I like that.
Somebody asked me a question on Bookmap about sometimes VWAP is pretty accurate when you compare it to DOS, and other times it's not. So, like, for example, with NVIDIA right now, it looks like 117.50 is VWAP according to DOS, but it looks a little bit lower on the Bookmap. But then other times, VWAP will be almost exactly the same. Have you figured that out? Thor, I'm asking a question.
Oh, sorry, bud. I was typing. Say it again.
Yeah, I was just wondering why sometimes VWAP is almost the same in DOS and Bookmap, and other times it's a little bit off. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I have. So what can often happen is, depending on VWAP's an a volume weighted average price. So depending on when your data, how much data you're getting, and how the platform calculates, if there's different volume, it actually can change that. It's one of the reasons why people like using anchored VWAP versus like a regular VWAP, because you can specify the anchor periods to make sure that doesn't kind of happen. But I have noticed some inconsistency between the two at times, and and that's obviously less than ideal. But most of them come in. Like, I think, but yeah, I don't really use the VWAP in Bookmap as much, but the one on DOS always seems to be really nice.
Yeah,
We can
because right
lose.
now we seem to be getting banging our head on the VWAP here on in Bookmap.
Starting to sell a little bit again.
Yeah, that was good. Kind of added back a little bit on that right at the VWAP there. So I've added back into my NVIDIA position here. Let's
I like your
see if we can
style.
get to Thor's target here.
Help a brother
Thor's
out.
target.
ThorsTarget.com. Why not cover in front of my profit target? So it's like slippery slope, Luis. You know what I mean? If I take my profit here, you know what I mean. Then next time am I going to take it like 10 cents higher than that? And then why not just take it an R higher and 2R? And I know that's kind of like silly, but for me, it's I have a certain amount I'm risking every time I take a trade, and I just have a certain amount of money I have to make out of every winning trade that I have if in order to offset my losses. So if I don't hold this trade, I'm not going to offset my losses. And if this trade's meant to be a loser, then I'm just going to let it be a loser, right? Whatever that means. If this can rally all the way back up and go through all the way to high of day and stop me out, then I will let them have my money. But otherwise, I want theirs.
I want your money.
I want that
I
money.
want your money.
I'm also have been short towards S3 in Q as well. So just
nice.
kind of playing this one down, seeing if we can.
480.
This is on Ninja, by the way. I trade
480.
futures a lot through Ninja. So
480 and a half, right? Qs.
yeah. So I actually have been trailing the 50 short. I almost got taken out, actually. It came right back to the 50. Poor man's trend line. That's why I use it. I was really excited. Our guy Paris was back in the mod seat yesterday and doing his thing. I think a lot of people really enjoyed having him back in. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I noticed he posted his watch list today, so good to have our guy back.
We're back from his hiatus.
I think G Prof he got hired to be a I think he got hired to be a model for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And he was a hair model, actually. So he was touring. I might have just made that up on the spot. It could be true. You'll never know. Hair model. At least I made Arya laugh. Stinking S3, would you not do what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, bounced right off there again. That's another kind of a double bottom. There is an order, a bit of an order there, 116.
I'm feeling it. This order's chunky. 116 and 116.50 feels good. It's a bad spot algo wise. Really bad spot algo wise. So stinking algos. I got like a really big seller at like 117 and a quarter. And that happens to be at, what is that, yesterday's low. So it's starting to look a lot like a double bottom.
Yeah.
Volume dropped on the way back. Volume increasing on the way back up. Yuck.
Yeah, I'm back to or I added.
Ken,
Trying
good
to see if
job,
there's
Ken.
I'm just looking to see if there's some options trades now that are kind of worth doing. There's
Oh, they pulled.
237.50 puts on Tesla. Could sell those. Get $1 for them. They
They
expire
pulled the
end of today.
117 and a quarter order on Nvidia. We just lost our seller. They might flush now. Come on. No one wants to sell. You got to go lower. It's okay. I'm seeing some people are calling out GME right now. Something must be going on with it. Let's
Oh,
go look
okay.
at that while instead of watching paint dry in Nvidia. Oh yeah, look at that. Definitely had some volume hit on this. Is anybody aware of any specific news catalyst that's causing this, or is this just making that
It's
new
got to be
high that we just
something.
hit volume?
It's
I
got
mean,
to
the
be
volume's
something.
high. It's not crazy volume, but it's high. Is Kitty back?
Did Roaring Kitty posted a picture of him leaning forward in a chair
Is Kitty back?
again? Kitty's back.
Yeah, is
Roaring Kitty.
the picture. I'm ready. That is not a roaring kitty. that was a very happy, sleepy kitty.
These are the cats I have in Phoenix.
This
I
is
use
all
them
the
for
cats we
testing,
have.
but yeah, sometimes for Carlos.
That's not like that's like more like a purring kitty.
He is a pretty happy cat.
Happy cat. I'm going to get out of the rest of my NVIDIA. I'm not too keen on what it's doing right now.
Super
The
rude.
Qs are bumping. The SPY is bumping a bit here. God, CCJ has been is breaking out. CCJ is probably going to 45. It's a big order there. Bloody hell.
Will adding into NVIDIA. How dare you?
NVIDIA has gotten through the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart now, and we're sort of challenging the 20. So I always like to look at those two moving averages, as everybody who follows knows. We'll see if we can get through this 20 EMA now. The Qs popped back up, and this is, I guess, we're getting a bit of a rally here on the
higher range
on the
ES or the SPY got right into the buying range. Came right back in, right down to S4, tagged S4, and then came right off of it. So it's a good spot to pick up buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, GME's rocking. Not my cup of tea, the GME, unfortunately. So
What's Crowd doing? Crowd in a nice open, nice pop up. Now it's kind of doing on a daily. It's sort of breaking out of a range here. Breaking out of a trading range. This is what weekly looks like on Crowd. Yeah, Crowd looks like it's going for a gap fill through 300. I'll bet we get to 300 next week. Might be worth playing some options on that. depending on how liquid those things are. Take a boo. Let's look at next week's options.
I got a roaring kitty here. There we go.
There you go. I saw it. That was a roar. That's great.
Hmm.
Yo. Do. All right.
Some
Back to
decent
the
open
50.
interest on decent open interest on crowd. 300 strike for end of next week. Could do a vertical.
Oh, no.
I might put that on. We'll see we'll see how the day ends. Tesla rolled over. Tesla's got an order at 238.
We went right back to the 50 SMA on NVIDIA, my poor man's trend line, and then bumped it and came back off of it. So if I go back above 117.50, I might just go ahead and just cut the positions just due to lack of performance, just so, because I will have some stuff I have to do, unfortunately, a little later today. So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The market's in a really good spot to bounce right now. Not that it is bouncing. It's just in a good spot. But I feel like most of the tech tickers, I mean, they've been selling pretty well, for them. I mean, CVD is actually green on NVIDIA, so there has been a bit of buying going on, but
yeah,
I'm still feeling it. I think my bid still looks good to the downside. I think we're going to drop. So I'm going with it.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, look at a number of them. Like Tesla's got quite a green CVD as well.
Peter, you're a C in the YouTube. You're 100%. I actually am learning a bit more about them. I do like looking at open interest on the options chain, especially like the 0 DTE, to see if I can see like where some big orders are going to be sitting at. But that's literally about all I can do when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
I know just enough to try and sound smart. So a lot of reasons why it's so boring today. If you're bored, I mean, I'm been in a position all day, so I'm elated right now. As you can tell by my face, I am having so much fun while I hold this position. No, so one thing is the witching, triple witching, not quad, right? Just triple, I think today, or is it quad? Jared, is it triple or is it
I
quad?
think it's triple. It's
I think
triple.
it's triple. Okay. So
Yeah.
triple witch, you know what I mean. So we got we got that going on. There are three witches, are plenty of witches, and there are only three of them right now. So
Mhm.
so that we have futures expiring and rolling over, lots of stuff going on, and that has slowed things down a bit. You have that the market yesterday had a very aggressive move yesterday. So I think today we're kind of, as Brian said earlier today, I think we're a little punch drunk on the market. Where I just think I don't necessarily think we're selling right now. I just think the buyers are just exhausted from buying. So we're just kind of chopping and slowly pulling back on the lower volume with those things combined. So I don't think people want to sell. I think they like the interest rates and stuff. So
Hmm.
come on, just one big flush.
Yeah, we're just chopping along here. We could flush on the Qs. I mean, every rally seems to be getting sold, but we're definitely holding this 481 level on the Qs and SPY.
We haven't had that like bottoming signal yet, so I'm just hoping we get like a
No,
big like
no.
Wyckoff spring here, and I get filled in the process. Robin Hood, I would say that that's not inaccurate. I wouldn't say it's always going to be a small day after there's a big day,
Yeah,
or a slower day after a big day. It's not always that way, but I would definitely say
no.
you more often than not.
Often, but not
Mike,
always.
I got Mike emotionally
Nothing's.
invested in my trade. He's like rooting for me right now. He's like, come on, Nvidia, you can do it.
Good to have emotional support. Wow, Adobe's really selling off here. There's no love for Adobe.
Stinking S3. What
Hmm.
kind of crazy cam trader sticks their target on the other side of S3? Ridiculous.
Yeah, see, we get a big bit of a drop there on the Qs, bought right back up. Yeah, just doesn't seem to be. Just seems to be profit takers out there today. Not a lot of aggressive selling. Just which isn't surprising. We had this huge run up yesterday. Big move.
Oh, seller. There's my seller. Come on. Sell it.
Hmm.
What's the most important chapter to read in my book? All of them.
They're all
No,
important.
the chapter on volume and price analysis, actually, I think is probably the most. The psychology part's actually surprisingly good. It's like the how section.
It's
Ooh,
all
I
good.
got a couple
Let's
people
just
saying
say
certainly the how. Interesting. Thank you.
you got that bounce off S3 again on the on NVIDIA.
Ridiculous. So the issue I'm having for those in YouTube, so if you don't know my system, so in a higher range, I like to play more short from R4. And the reason why is because you get to your profit target before you run into the support range. In this instance, you can see when you go short at R3, why it makes it a little bit more of a pain, because now I'm trying to get to my target through the buying range. I still think we're weak. I think we are going to go through the buying range. It's just a much more frustrating trade. But the reason why I'm not concerned by this bouncing the way it's bouncing is because we're in a buying range. I expect to bounce, you know what I mean? Because I expect buyers to be here, but I don't think the buyers are going to be strong enough to handle the amount of selling we have. So I think we're going to go through them. At least that's what I'm betting on. I just need one good hit through to get filled, and then the market can rally. Come on, Mike. We can make it. Yeah, so this level here is a very strong algorithmic level. Like the algos that the market makers use will respond at this level and either cover shorts or buy for accumulations. So it's not surprising to have this level hold up. I know what it is half the chat room like taking profit in front of me. Come on, get down there. Get down there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
Finally got
There
it.
we go. Look at that hold.
That
Booyah.
was it. Yeah, we got the big flush on the Qs eventually there.
Finally that paint dried. Thanks, Aaron. Cool.
Yeah, good.
Well,
yeah, it was good.
I'm pretty stoked
Awesome.
about that. Made it.
Yeah, eventually. Look at that. Took almost hour and a half.
Hour and a half hold on that one to make that work. So if you likes for boring, slow paint drying trading that results in profit, I mean, come on, help me out here. No, so I hope really everyone really appreciates that. We will probably start looking at kind of like starting to wrap this morning sesh, because I know Brian and
Yes.
I are, we both been working pretty hard for y'all, especially now that I hit that. I want to get a good old, and I am in the BBT room from 11 to 12, so it'll give me time to grab a little breakfast before that happens.
Yeah.
For everyone out there in YouTube, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. This is what you kind of get to see every day in the room. We have multiple mods trading throughout the day. So, if any of you are interested in that, as well as the educational material, come by and see that. Otherwise, Brian, Profit of Profit, my good friend, thanks so much for trading with me this week. Yeah. And we always seem to make a little money together.
Trade with you, buddy.
You know what I mean? So
yes, for sure. It was all good.
Cool, man. Well, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody out there in YouTube. Much love to my BBT family. And we'll talk to y'all later.
Right on. See you, everybody. Or see you, Thor. I'll just hang for a few more minutes here, and we'll see. We're gonna go off here now. So take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. Do check out my swing trade video if you want. On it's live here. It's not live, but it's on YouTube under my name, Brian Peasant. And we'll have a great weekend. Bye for now.